Good morning, student of class 8. Today I am going to discuss the lesson 3 from social science, that is geography part, water resources. In the previous 3 classes I have provided you the answers, short answer, long answer. I hope that you have noted it down. So let's start. Water resources. What is water resources? Water is actually a life supporting elements, is a life supporting compound, and it is a resource, and it is basic to life and an important natural resource for resource for us. We know that about 71% of the earth's surface is covered by water. It can be seen that it is huge. The percentage of the coverage of the earth's surface with water is 75%, which we can say it is plenty. But the main thing is that 97% of the total available water is in ocean. 97% of this water is in ocean, and this 97%, though it is ocean, though it is abundant, but this 97% cannot be used because this water is saline. Saline means the water contains salt. The water contains salt. This salty water is not possible for the use for drinking purpose, washing, or cooking purpose. So the remaining 3% of this available water is fresh. Fresh means does not contain salt. Always remember, fresh water means does not contain salt. Though it may be dirty, but due to some filtration process, we can use the water. But still, of this 3% of water, 2/3 is in glaciers and iceberg. 2/3 is in glaciers and iceberg. Glaciers are the rivers of snow which are present in the mountains, and also in the polar ice cap. They are glaciers. And icebergs, icebergs are what? When huge masses of ice comes down to the ocean are called iceberg. The iceberg may be so huge, it may be the size of a state or a country. But now what we have for the use of water now as fresh water? We have groundwater and surface water, that is rainwater or under the groundwater or river water, which is available for human use, and this account only 1% of the total available water. That means out of 100% of water, 99% cannot be accessed by human. Only 1% is available for the human use. So even this 1%, though it is available in water, you know that you are extracting water from the ground. It is very difficult to extract water from the ground, and it requires some devices like hand pumps, tube wells, electric motor, whatever it is. But the water need to be treated. The water need to be treated for our use, because underground water contains excessive impurities like iron oxide. When iron comes in contact with oxygen, rust occurs in water, and the water gives a yellowish color, and this cannot be drink, yellowish color. So treated water, to maintain its purity, is required, and that water which is suitable for drinking, it is called as potable. So filtration and sedimentation are followed after disinfecting the water with chlorine. chlorine is a very harmful gas and it is poisonous. But as it is gas, it does not settle in anything, it does not get mixed. So chlorination process, this gas is allowed to pass into the water. And all the disinfectants like microbes, harmful bacteria are killed through this chlorination process and water gets purified. But this is the last process. Chlorination is a last process. Before, we need to extract the sediments, the mud, and the unwanted substance, solid particles need to be extracted, need to be purified. So this is done through filtration. The impurities which are of bigger in size. So filtration, how is done? You are very well acquainted with the filtration process, that is sand filtration. You may have your filters, a tank which comprises of sand and stones. There you go with the filtration of the water. This is a very easy step, but still all the microbes, some harmful chemicals cannot be extracted through sand filtration. Only some solid particles like iron oxide or whatever the things comes out from the tube well gets out. So this is filtration process. But later, to make it more potable or more drinking available for drinking, we need to chlorinate the water to extract the harmful chemicals or harmful microbes or whatever it is. Some other activities are also done when there are certain chemicals, okay, like reverse osmosis, or UV treatment. These are present in bigger companies who used to supply water. You may have been using your drinking water which come on jars which cost you 50 rupees or 20 rupees for 20 liters. So there this kind of devices are present. But also there are certain devices which cost a little less than 10,000 rupees, which we call as RO filter, which works on some electricity and you can use it. So RO, that is reverse osmosis. So reverse osmosis are used in process are used. So ultraviolet radiation to kill bacteria, viruses, fungi, and distillation and filtration methods are also used to filter the water. So next, scarcity of water. Water is scarce, as I have already mentioned. That water is very scarce on our earth. Though it is abundant, but drinkable water, as I have already mentioned, only 1% of total water is available on earth and is available for human use, this 1%. So because of growth in human populations are growing too much, and till the industrial revolution, human population has been increased about 7 times. Before the industrial revolution, there were only 1 billion population distributed over the earth surface. Now there are 7 billion population and it is increasing, more than 7 billion population, and this population are increasing, and water is being exploited at an alarming rate. Some more problem, that is deforestation. The natural recharge process of groundwater is getting affected. You see, when there is deforestation, the trees are there, the trees are growing over the earth surface, the trees evaporate the water, and in every interval rains are occurring. and these rains come to the earth's surface and the water percolates down under the ground, recharging the water. And the water level under the ground rises up. So we can dig some tube wells from here and we can extract the water. But due to diffusion, no trees, no evaporation, and the rain, no rain also, rain decreases, and a condition of desert forms. So no recharge of water, and the level of underground water goes decline and decline, which goes beyond the reach of the tube wells, and we find difficulty in extracting water. And this is leading to water scarcity in almost all places in the world. So, some dry countries are there, like in the part of Africa, most of Africa, West Asia, South Asia, part of Western USA, Northwest Mexico, part of South America, and Australia are facing shortage in fresh water supply. So in 1990, 28 countries with population about 335 million experience water scarcity, no water to even to drink. By 2025, remember this, 2025, 50 countries including India, Peru, Korea, Nigeria, Poland will enter into the categories of water scarce country, affecting over 225, about 3 billion population worldwide, which is about a little less than half of the total population. 300 crore, I can say. To overcome the problem of water scarcity, it is essential for all of us, to keep our water resources such as lakes and rivers clean. And if lakes and rivers can be clean, then we can assess the total of 1% of the fresh water which is available for human use, because we are making the rivers dirty, polluted, and we know that only 1% of the total water is present in rivers, in lakes, and also underground water. So it is because of this we are polluting the water. This 1% are also getting decreased, and we are unable to assess. Okay, so this is a little part from page number 108, water resources. Next day we will discuss about the causes of water shortages, which are already given in the book in the point system, and we'll continue the chapter. I hope so you will try to understand. If you don't understand, then do ask me the question. Next day I will be with the next part of the lesson. Thank you.